Hello and welcome to Ask the Crown. I'm Stephanie McGrain, and tonight I'm joined by the gorgeous Haley O'Brien, Miss Minnesota, USA. Welcome, Haley.
Thank you.
So happy to have you with me tonight. I have to say congratulations to you on capturing the Miss Minnesota USA title. So
Thank you so
exciting.
much. I still can't believe it. I wear it around my apartment like a crazy person all the time. And I'm like, oh, it's real. Oh my goodness.
I would be doing the same thing. Now, I was there the night that you were crowned, and I loved your crowning moment. I loved your reaction, and you looked so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, you are definitely the total package, beauty and brains. But there's often a stigma surrounding pageant girls that they're not very smart. So, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, it's funny. I hear that all the time, and especially as a pre-medical student, I hear it more often. You know, people always come up to me and they're like, oh, pageantry, huh? You know, is it like toddlers and tiaras? Are all the girls, not really that interested in academics? What's it really like? And at first I was kind of thrown off by it because I've always been considered a nerd my entire life. You know, I was the one that was obsessed with Lord of the Rings. I was the one that had the nerdy huge glasses in middle school. You know, that was me. So then when I became a title holder, it was weird having people see me in a different light. You know, instead of being the nerd, the smart one, I was, oh, the dumb beauty queen. And the way that I kind of handled that is I thought to myself, you know what? Every single thing that you do is going to have a stereotype. When I was on the chess team, I was considered the biggest nerd in school and a social reject just because I was on the chess team. And that's a stereotype for the chess team. And in pageantry, the stereotype is that girls are stupid. So what I do to combat it is I just say, I'm going to try to change their minds. I'm going to try to prove them wrong. So I'm going to try to be the smartest, most intelligent young woman that anyone ever meets in the pageant system.
I love it. Great advice. And that's true. You know, I think there is a stereotype surrounding everything. But
Absolutely.
yes, what is your advice to girls who are getting ready to compete and they hear from people, really? A beauty pageant?
Oh my goodness, Debbie, you have no idea how many times I heard that when I was getting ready to compete in my first pageant. Especially, I think though it was because I was such a nerd. They were like, oh, whoa, Haley, you didn't realize this is a beauty pageant, right? You know, you have to wear makeup and you have to be in an evening gown. You can't wear your stretchy pants and your little turtleneck. So I got that a lot. And you know, the thing is you just have to kind of say, well, it's just something I want to do. It's really cool to me. And if there's somebody that really cares about you as a person, friends and family, they're going to say, you know what, you're right. If you like it, go ahead and do it. And if they continue to ask you, why pageantry? Why are you doing this? They're probably not somebody who really has your back and cares about your best interests. So I would just kind of ignore the comment and just try to stay confident in the fact that you actually enjoy pageantry.
The truth, definitely, yes. Now, since you are a former Miss Minnesota Teen USA, do you feel like that gave you an edge competing for Miss Minnesota USA, or will give you an edge competing for Miss USA?
You know, that's a tough question. The funny thing is, I was actually asked that by the judges in my interview for Miss Minnesota USA.
Oh, you were.
I was, and I sat there thinking, I was like, I don't really know. You know, the funny thing is now that I'm the Miss title holder, I realize that the Teen USA pageant and the Miss USA pageant are pretty different. I mean, what I did to prepare for teen is nothing in comparison to what I am doing to prepare for Miss. I mean, when I was a teen, I was sitting eating cheeseburgers and french fries. Now that I'm a Miss, I'm like, oh, I can't have as many of those as I did when I was a teen. I do think that it does play to your benefit just because it's an experience type of thing. You know, when I went through teen, I made certain mistakes during my reign that, you know, now I can apply to the Miss Minnesota USA systems that maybe, you know, I'll be more organized, or maybe I'll, you know, pick a gown that I really, really love, or maybe I'll practice walking in heels a little bit more than I did for teen. So I think that that experience really aids to your benefit, but I don't think necessarily that you're always going to win just because you were a former title holder. That's definitely not true.
And I think this year I heard that there's a record for the amount of Teen USA state title holders coming back. I think it's 12, including
Yep.
you.
Yep, it's crazy and it's so much fun because I know a couple girls from my year. Missouri, Nebraska, and Utah were all 2010 teens. So it's so much fun to message them on Facebook and be like, oh my goodness, 2010, woo. It's like a sorority. You're like, yeah, 2010, we're going to kick butt. It's kind of funny, but it's going to be so much fun.
Wow, so you guys are going to all be reunited
Oh
again.
yeah, 2010's coming. Miss USA, get ready.
Woo! Now, you are getting ready to graduate soon from college.
Yes, I
and
am.
you will be going to med school.
Yep.
What happens if you become Miss USA? What happens to med school?
You know, the funny thing is, that's another question I get all the time. All my friends and family are like, okay, so what is kind of your 5-year plan? My family's a group of planners. We kind of have our 10-year, 5-year plan and we stick to it. So whenever there's something in the plan that could change, we're all like, oh my goodness, what do we do? But the thing is I kind of have two main dreams right now. One, obviously, is to win the Miss USA and hopefully Miss Universe title. And then the other is to go to med school. And I'm not going to compromise on one just because I want to do the other. I definitely think that both are achievable. So if I were to win Miss USA, which would be amazing, fingers crossed, then I would just put off med school for 1 year. And I would wait to kind of send in my applications just so that, med school wasn't waiting for me to respond.
Where do you hope to go to med school?
I'd love to go to the U of M here in Minnesota. Otherwise, I'd love Baylor in Houston, Texas, just because a lot of my family is living in Texas, especially my older sister. She lives in Houston, so that'd be really fun.
So you can either go, you can stay where it's cold, or you can go where it's nice and hot.
And during the winter, now that you mention it, I think I want to go to Baylor. Cross the U of M off there. Hopefully they're not watching.
With you.
We can pack tank tops together and go to the beach in the middle of the winter.
I love it. That sounds great. Well, what do you want to specialize in med school?
I love to do facial reconstructive surgery.
Wow.
Basically, cleft palates, facial tumors, skin grafts. Sometimes it's called neurosurgery, depending on the specialty area that you go into. But something along those lines would be really cool.
I see, once again, beauty and brain.
You should see my 6th grade picture, though. You wouldn't say that anymore. It was awful.
Now, you are in college. You're preparing for Miss USA. You have family and friends. How do you do it all? How do you juggle it all?
Energy drinks, coffee. No, I'm the type of person that loves to just go, 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 go. My friends call me the Energizer Bunny because I never really run out of energy. So I think if I was sitting on the couch for longer than an hour, I'd be bored. I love a packed schedule. Give me all that you can throw at me, and I am ready to do it.
Well, it sounds like you definitely have a lot of energy, and you're going to need lots and lots for Miss USA, med school, everything.
Yep.
What is your advice to the viewers on how to be successful? Because obviously you are quite successful.
Thank you.
So what is your advice to everyone watching?
The one thing that my mom always taught me in order to be successful is organization. And when I was little, I was like, organization? Who needs it? I can do everything with my room messy and my car looking like a hoarder car and everything everywhere. And what I've learned over the years is organization will really, really help you if you want to be successful, especially if you're going for more than one dream at once. You really need to learn how to balance those things in order to kind of focus your energy and time into the right areas at the right time. So organization is number 1, and then confidence is number 2. If you have confidence in yourself and the fact that you can accomplish the things that you set your mind to, you're going to be just fine.
Organization and confidence are key.
Amen.
I know that you've also done a lot of modeling, and you've modeled for Sherry Hill, modeling all those gorgeous gowns. What is that like, modeling those beautiful gowns?
Oh my goodness, words can't describe how amazing that is. I remember every day I would call my mom and I'd have a new favorite gown. I'd be like, Mom, this is going to be my gown. I'm going to come home with this gown. And my mom would always have to remind me, Haley, you're a broke college student. You don't have enough money to come home with 500 gowns. Just model them for now and enjoy being in them and then say goodbye to them when you leave. It was an amazing, amazing experience. We did I'd say 9 fashion shows over the course of 8 days. Probably
Wow.
more. I'm probably underestimating. Yeah, your feet hurt by the end of it, but it's so amazing because you get to put on probably like 60 some of her new gowns, which every single gown you love more and more. So the more you put on, the more you're like, this is my gown. I'm coming home with this tomorrow. It was just a fabulous experience. I am so honored that I was even able to do it.
I bet that is a dream. Plus, I think it would help getting ready to go to Miss USA because you can try all these gowns on. You can decide what type of gown you like, what you don't like.
Oh yeah, and I tripped on that fashion show stage so many times. I was like, oh, thank God this isn't Miss USA because I'd be that girl. And now I'm like, come on, now you need to practice walking more and more because you tripped in the Sherry Hill fashion show one too many times.
Well, good practice for Miss USA.
Amen.
What is your ultimate modeling job?
Ultimate modeling job, I'd probably say walking somewhere in New York Fashion Week. I think that that would be so, so cool just because it's so iconic. You know, it's the New York Fashion Week. Unfortunately, I'm 5'8", so I'm 1 inch too short, but I'll never stop trying. We'll see. We'll see if I can do it.
Well, what about your ultimate job in general?
In general, I'd definitely be a facial reconstructive surgeon, absolutely. The day that I get my white coat and the white coat ceremony will probably be the best day of my life. I will sleep with that coat on like I sleep with this crown on.
You got your crown, your coat, so many accomplishments.
I'm ready. Woo!
And I know you have so many causes that are close to your heart, like Strong is the New Skinny. So tell us about that.
So Strong is the New Skinny was actually a movement started surprisingly on Facebook, and it's gotten so many likes, and now it's kind of spread worldwide. And it's the idea that instead of focusing on being super skinny, focus on being a healthy, strong version of you. Everybody in the world has a different body shape. Everyone has a different body size. Some people aren't going to be able to look like certain girls that are in, you know, the magazines that are walking on the runway, and that's not going to be a healthy version of them. So instead of focusing on this is the goal for me, focus on what's healthy for me. What's a strong version of me?
Oh, and it's so needed out there with all of the different, you know, everything you see on the media and TV and the messages that girls and women are getting. So I think it's so important. Along with the message that you're sending to girls about getting involved in math and science, being an educator, it's so important, so vital.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the work you're doing is incredible. But
thank you.
Absolutely. How are you getting girls involved in math and science?
You know, I think the biggest part of trying to get girls involved in math and science is just to talk to them face to face. You know, to have small group time with young girls in middle school and elementary school, because that's really the time that they're deciding what they want to go into. I remember when I was young, I had a passion for math and science, and as I got more toward middle school and high school, I learned that's not really what girls did. You know, girls did history, girls did English. They were good at those things, and the guys were good at math and science. So thankfully, I have a great family full of, my mom's actually an engineer, my dad's actually an engineer. So we've got two brilliant scientists in the house, and they kind of pushed me more toward math and science because that's what they knew I was passionate about. And that's the voice that I want to be to young girls who have that passion but are maybe a little too worried that it's a man's field. I want to tell them, you know what, you do what you love, because one day you can be a doctor, or one day you can be an engineer, or one day you could work for NASA. And it doesn't matter the gender that you are, it just matters what you're passionate about.
And you're a role model, and I know young girls will look up to you and say, oh, she's so beautiful, and you know, she's telling us it's good to be smart and take math and science. So I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
Now, okay, if the Miss USA judges happen to watch this interview with you, as well as all of our viewers, tell us why you are the best selection for the job of Miss USA.
I have thought probably more about this question than I've thought about any other question that could be asked at Miss USA, because I definitely want to have a good answer. Because you want somebody to be Miss USA who knows why they want to be Miss USA and why they make a great Miss USA. And first, I will be the most dedicated Miss USA on the face of the planet. I will wake up at 3 in the morning if I have to. I will take a red eye. I will sleep in the airport. I will do whatever I need to. You know, it was the best Miss USA that Miss Universe had seen And also, the great thing is I had the experience as a teen, so I had the experience of looking up to a Miss title holder. Courtney Becerra was Miss Minnesota USA when I was the teen title holder, and I idolized her more than I think I've ever idolized anyone in the entire world. Every time we'd have an appearance together, I'd look at her and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Courtney. It's the Miss title holder. So I know what it's like to kind of idolize that Miss and the Miss USA. And the funny thing was that it wasn't the fact that she was so beautiful, and it wasn't the fact that she walked on the Miss USA stage. That wasn't why I idolized her. It was the fact that she was able to be that gorgeous of a beauty queen and then to just hang out with me in my sweatshirt and my sweatpants, and we would eat Cheetos together, and she was in just a raggedy old t-shirt and shorts. And it was those close, intimate conversations that I had with her that really made me realize what is important about being a title holder. So the reason why I want to be Miss USA is because I want to be the Courtney Becerra to somebody else out there. I want to be the girl that can look gorgeous in an evening gown on a stage, but I also want to be the girl that then takes off all her makeup and just hangs out with young girls on a couch watching whatever show they want to watch.
Oh gosh, I love that. See, you are gorgeous, you're smart, and you're so real too.
Oh, thank you.
Real with everyone. So I think that's incredible. Now, being a former teen title holder and being involved in pageantry, and of course being Miss Minnesota USA now, you must have a ton of pageant tips and advice for our viewers.
Where do I start?
Give us your favorite one, your best tip.
Well, besides the organization, now I label everything, literally. I just had a fashion shoot in Vegas, and I put on the top of my jewelry box, there was a label that said, all my jewelry. And she was laughing. The photographer was like, all your jewelry, huh? I'm like, yeah, all my jewelry. So labeling things is very important, because when you're rushing backstage and you're throwing dresses and you're trying to find your swimsuit, it's very important to have that label that says, my swimsuit jewelry or my evening gown jewelry, and it just kind of takes that pressure off, like, whew, okay, I'm gonna find everything. It's going to be okay. And then besides that, I'd say pick stuff that you love. I know that there are a lot of people that go into pageantry and they hear so many different things. They hear, you know, winners win in white, and they hear all these different little things that can help you win a pageant. Just make sure that the gown you pick and the swimsuit you pick, you love more than anything. I know that I always go for colors that aren't typical pageant colors, and if you love your gown, you're going to look way better than somebody that doesn't love their gown. So just make sure that you love what you're wearing and what you look like when you're on that stage.
Great advice for our viewers. And now, Haley, tell us, how can our viewers follow your journey? Can we find you on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter? How can we find you?
Oh boy, I have every single social media you want. If you're on Instagram, I got it. Twitter, I just learned Twitter. My 16-year-old brother, he considers himself my social media guru. That's currently his title. I'm thinking that he's going to expect a paycheck soon. So
he might.
Keep that on the DL. I don't really need to pay him. But so my Twitter is at the Real Miss MN USA. Same with my Instagram. It's Real Miss MN USA. And then, of course, I just have a personal Facebook, which is just my name, Haley O'Brien. But then I also have a Facebook page, which is Miss Minnesota USA.
Oh, fantastic. We will definitely check all that out and be following you. I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. It was an honor having you on the show. I've known you for a while, and I was so excited to have you on. And you're beautiful and smart. And I know you are going to be fabulous on that Miss USA stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to say thanks to all of the viewers for tuning in. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. Thanks, Haley.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Bye.